Today, we're putting TEMU's quirky kitchen gadgets to the test. From apple peelers and mini sealers to onion shredders, mango cutters, spoon scales, and even an egg cracker. Hi, I'm Daniel, and welcome to the PissedConsumer channel. Let's start with a fruit and vegetable cleaning brush for just 73 cents. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the potato and the brush, make it a little wet. Now from what I can see is that it does remove the dirt. In some cases it peels the skin. So it does quite a decent job for the 73 cents you spend on the brush. Next, we're testing the multi-fruit peeler. This one has adjustable blades and claims to work in different sizes and textures. I'll try peeling an apple and let's see how smooth it is and whether it leaves any extra peel behind. There it goes. When we look at the end product, we can see it peels quite well, quite thorough, with a very good result, a very good peeled apple in the end. So we've done an apple, now let's try a potato. We attach it the same way. There we go. Spinning it. As you can see, the device is plastic, gives you a little bit of a cheap look, but then again, it only costs $9.78. And because the potato is not completely round, you can see that the peeling performance is a lot less with this potato compared to the apple. Considerable bits of the potato are not peeled at all because the blade didn't make contact with the potato. So after trying out the potato, I think this device is more of an apple peeler or a round-shaped fruit peeler than anything else. Definitely not suitable for these potatoes. Now, I have a garlic and nuts peeler for just 77 cents. It's supposed to handle everything from garlic cloves to tough nut shells. I'll start with the garlic and then test it on the nuts. Now this little gadget is really handy if, like me, you have short nails. Although I do prefer direct contact with whatever it is that I'm peeling. So in that sense, it feels a little strange. You have to get used to it. But it does the job neatly. It's worth your buck. Hell, it's not even worth a buck. It's worth 77 cents. So as far as the garlic is concerned, it does a very good and very easy job. Now on to the nuts. We got some pistachios here. Let's take a rather difficult one. This is actually where it becomes a little tricky for me because it does the trick quite decently. So as you can see, it does the trick. I prefer to open it with my own fingers, but for those who have either short nails or fragile nails, it could be a very useful tool. Now it's time for the spiral potato slicer. This gadget is supposed to create perfect spirals from a single potato. I'll attach it to a potato and then try to give it a spin. So the slicer contains of three compartments, three parts. There is the actual pin, there is the actual spiral slicer, and there is the grip, which also is a crusher. It keeps the potato in its place. What you do is you take the pin and the spiral slicer itself, then you put the pin through the potato, there it goes, and then we attach the final compartment. There are two little holes there where the pin has to go through. And once that is done, we will start putting the slicer into the potato from the top. Now, normally you would say you can start slicing from here. That doesn't work. So the first thing you really have to do is push it into the potato while the first spiral is going in. Now that makes it quite uncomfortable because you really have to push considerably. So that is already a little disqualification of this little device. Anyway, the potato slicer is now in. So from here, we start slicing and slicing. Now, as you can see, it also lets go quite easily from the bottom. So all in all, it's a very unhandy little gadget, because once you are past halfway down the potato, it also becomes very difficult to twist the slicer further. So before I end, let's already take it apart. It does the job. It does make curly, slicey potato ribbons, but all things considered, a very unhandy device. I wouldn't recommend it. Next up is a tomato and lemon slicer. It's designed to hold fruits steady for perfectly even cuts. I'll try it with a zesty lemon to see how well it grips and slices. We need, of course, a knife to cut the lemon. We need a lemon, and we put it in the slicer. We put it in an evenly way, but of course it depends on how you want the slices. Now the principle is that you put it down and that the knife cuts the fruit or the lemon between the openings of this grip. But as you can see, the knife compared to the grip is quite thick. There's very little room, maneuvering room for the knife, although it does quite easily cut slices. But you would definitely need a thinner knife in order to do this work of slicing comfortably. Because every time to pull out the knife from one of the slits is quite uncomfortable. Although if you cut it, it does go through, but then to pull the knife out is kind of difficult. So when I ordered this gadget from Temu, it was priced $5.45. But now it looks like Temu owes me a new sharp blade because the knife got stuck on my very first attempt when using it. Next, we're tackling the mango cutter and the tomato slicer. The mango cutter promises even dice with an easy sliding motion, while the tomato slicer claims to make quick work of slicing cherry tomatoes. This is the tomato slicer. Consists of two components. This is actually where the knife is, and this is where the cherry tomatoes will go in. We'll take about 5 or 6 to put them in. 5, one more, that's 6. It should be a walk through the park because we're gonna put the blade through the tomatoes and it should produce even slices. Here we go. And how about that? Nicely done cherry tomatoes cut in half. Easy peasy. Now it's time for the mango cutter. The mango cutter consists of 2 pieces. First, at the bottom, you actually have the slicer, and then later you have the scooper, with which we scoop out the pieces that we create with the slicer. So here I have half a mango, and I'm going to make slices. Try to make them even as possible. And now the principle is to really try and scoop it out. Here we go. The scooping part, it's not very sharp as a blade, but watch out for your fingers. And here we go. Pieces of mango, they are not very evenly done, but it does save you a lot of hassle. The conclusion must be that it's okay, very useful, helpful, but could be better. It's time to focus on greens. First up is the stainless steel onion shredder, priced at just $3.51. And next, I'll try the multifunction scallion slicer for $3.98. It's supposed to handle both the soft leafy parts of onions as well as the firmer bases. What we're gonna do, we're gonna cut it at the base. We're gonna get one of these pieces, put it through the pin, and then gradually push it towards the blades so that it comes out as little grassy pieces on the other side. Small ribbons of onion, perfectly done by this little gadget. Now from the shredder, we go to the slicer. And it should be easy peasy to cut little pieces of the onion. Here we go. It doesn't go as easily. That's probably because the knives are pretty dull. Still, they can damage your fingers, so be careful. The slicer promised to be a very useful tool. Instead, it doesn't work very well. Here, we've got an electronic measuring spoon for $9.39. It claims to weigh small amounts of ingredients like spices and grains accurately. I'll scoop up some sugar to test its precision. In this bowl, we have sugar. It's just over half an ounce. So let's see if it adds up. There we go. And it reads 0.56. So quite accurate indeed. Very useful if you need precise measurements. Next up is the mini bag sealer, a gadget supposed to seal snacks and ingredient bags airtight. Now the device does feel sturdy, although the buttons are a little flimsy, like an old toy. We are going to try and seal this bag of Doritos and see how well and how easy it goes. We're going to use the front button. We're going to make sure. Okay. So for the part that I used, it's actually sealed quite well, as you can see. So let's complete that. Let's do it from the start here. Go through it. As you can see, it seals off well, but be quick, because if you go about it too slowly, it actually leaves another cut, another mark. So it does seal, but with damages to the packaging. Here we have a food sealer. Its price on TEMU was $23.59. I'll test its sealing strength and see how efficiently it handles the job. All right, and now we're going to try and vacuum seal it. We open the machine. We're going to make sure it's stuck between those two little teeth, those two little holders. Now we're going to seal the machine and make sure that you can hear the proper click. There you go. Now on this machine, there are two buttons. One is for a regular seal. The other one is for a vacuum seal, which is what we are going to attempt. As well, in the middle, there's a little display with a timer telling you how long the seal is progressing. We're not going to interrupt the seal, by the way. To release, you have two release buttons on the side, which you click. And as you can see, it is perfectly well sealed, ready for storage. One if and one but, the power cable of this machine is fairly short, so be close to a socket in order for proper use. Do you know what ovophobia is? It's the fear of eggs, and believe it or not, I have it. And it definitely makes this part of our filming a unique challenge for me. Fun fact, some people with ovophobia aren't just afraid of touching or eating eggs, they can even feel uneasy looking at anything egg-shaped. Thankfully, our cameraman isn't egg-shaped. He's basically my hero today because he decided to step in to take care of all the things egg-related. First up, we're testing the red and yellow egg timer for just $1.93. The timer is supposed to show different levels of doneness based on time, or how well the egg gets boiled. So, it looks like the red and yellow egg timer did a pretty good job. As promised on its website, it changed color during boiling to indicate the boiling stage. The egg timer was accurate when indicating whether the egg was boiled soft or hard. It was exactly right. Let's move on to our second gadget, the 2-in-1 stainless steel egg cracker. Well, mostly plastic. Tiny bits are indeed stainless steel. I bought this gadget for $13.61. Now we're taking it up a notch with the semi-automatic egg beater mixer, which comes in at $3.80. It's designed to whip eggs in record time. I'll compare it against a traditional whisk to see which one is faster. The semi-automatic egg beater mixer definitely does the trick. It's quick, easy to use, and surprisingly effective for its price. It's time for the egg peeler gadget, priced at $4.68. We'll grab the boiled eggs, place them in this peeler, and give it a few pushes. It claims to peel hard-boiled eggs, but it just doesn't work. Even with medium-sized eggs, the opening is simply too small, and instead of peeling, the eggs get crushed. It becomes a total mess. If you enjoyed this video and you want more tests like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, our time has expired. I'll see you in the next one.